Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is now Chat Show. I'm your girl, beautiful Kaz Mack in the building,
Come on.
alongside this guy over here, Mr.
J Change, the love child.
The
That's
Love
just,
Child.
I like to, it's just.
It goes with the
It's,
topic,
yeah,
right? It goes with the
exactly. Yeah,
topic.
there's history behind that name, but yeah.
Well, if it's your first time to Now Chat Show, this is a platform to inspire. Now, guys, if you've watched our series, and we did a series back in September called Dating Deconstructed, we done a bonus episode where we done from the male perspective, talking about dating and relationships. Due to that episode, we had such a high demand from the ladies who just basically said, you're going to have to do a female version, right? You're going to have to do a female version. So you ladies are going to Ladies, listen, I want to hear from you guys. If you've got questions, even the man's them, if you've got questions, please bring your questions, because we are having a conversation this evening. It's going to be inspirational, it's going to be entertaining, and most importantly, it's going to be educational. So, J Chain, just tell our viewers, just tell them briefly about yourself.
I just wanted to add what you were saying. As a conversation, it's like a reason. It's just the same as if you're at home with your people, just that the camera's on in it. And I think when we have that as the leading energy, it makes people more open and relaxed. We're reasoning, we're not really, it's nothing personal. What can I say about me? I love things like this. That's why I'm on this podcast with you. You asked me to come on, and I said, yeah, no problem. Being someone who, I'm not afraid to express who I am or what I'm going through. So it's very rare for black men to be like that. So sometimes you got to be that person to take the bullets, and I'm all right with it. So yeah, I'm a host in my own right, and I'm always interested in different perspectives around how we can communicate better relationships, and different things like that.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, guys, I'm just going to let you guys know there has been some technical glitches, so I do apologize in advance. So, if for any reason we come out, we will come back in, but we will continue with the conversation. So, apologies in advance. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in our panel, and I'm going to get them to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with Adjoa. So Adjoa is going to come in the building.
Hey guys,
lady. Hey lady A. How you doing, Queen?
Yeah.
How are you, beautiful?
How you doing?
I'm good. Hey,
good?
Change. Hey, the love.
Hot gang, come on.
Come on.
So Adjoa, if you could just let our viewers know, just briefly about you. Right back at you, sis. Right back at you. So let our viewers know briefly about you, because you've got your own platform as well, and just share about yourself, because you're one of the married ladies.
Listen, the funniest thing is I actually don't like talking about myself, and it's so weird. So when you're put on the spot, it's like, ooh. But my name is Adjoa Ramsey. I have been married for 23 years, so this conversation is real interesting to me. I've got two kind of things that I do. I'm a minister, for those who want to know from the jump. But the second thing is I actually do something called BI, which is it stands for Be Yourself Exquisitely, and it's really a place for women to be encouraged, challenged, and to find accountability and sisterhood. And so we I kind of focus on that. But then me and my husband also have something called 2-Minute Marriage, which is basically just helping people out with relationships, married, divorced, single, whatever it is. We kind of just want to be be a place where you can find safety and really kind of get the real on what relationships are and what they look like. So those are some of the things that I do.
Wow. So this is so
that's what you need to know. Say that again.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. So we're going to bring another lady into the studio. Marika, are you ready, Queen?
Hello, good evening.
Hey, Marika.
Everyone.
So this is one of another of the ladies that I was. How are you, Queen?
Hey, sis.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
So if you can just let our audience know something brief.
Okay, yeah. So I'm one of the married ladies.
Tell our viewers about yourself.
Okay. My name's Marika. I'm married to Simon. I've got 2 daughters. I used to go to school with Carol, and basically I am a person who does a few things. I work with kids.
That's my government.
I work in a school. I'm a childminder. I'm a fitness enthusiast. I do a little bit of personal training. I run a fitness class. And I have a small business called By Marika UK, where I make my own body butters. And I've recently launched a facial scrub, which is doing really well. I've got a little product placement here. Okay. So, yeah, and that's me. And I'm very, very happy to be here tonight. And I hope that it's going to be some fun conversation going.
Fabulous. Thank you, Marika. So we're going to bring in our next queen. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. You are next.
I'm just turning off my phone. Hi, everybody.
Sparkle's got vibes going on.
Hi.
I can't turn off your phone
So
for you.
you are live.
Hi.
So do share
Sparkle.
about yourself.
I will. I'm Sparkle, known government name Anita, singing name Scorpio. Work for local government and also work with vulnerable adults. Hobby, singing. So I do a lot of funerals and christenings and that. In terms of life expectation, I suppose I'm a sponge for many for advice and, direction. But I'm still sort of single, but I mingle.
Woo! She's single and she mingles. Okay, we're going to leave that up right there. We're going to bring in our third lady. Oh, she's got a drink ready. Okay. She's getting herself ready.
One has to be, ready.
Okay, so we're bringing in our next lady. Sasha, you're looking absolutely fabulous. Do tell our viewers a bit about yourself, Queen.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Sasha. I'm 36, in a relationship for about 18 months now. By day, I work in project management, and by night, morning, whenever I have spare time, I have a business co-owned with my business partner / cousin called I Love Afro, and we make hair products for natural hair, curly hair, kinky hair. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Sasha.
Quick question. Sash, what can you do for boldness? Anything for the bald head?
Well,
I'll get a wig.
You know what? There's some nice things there.
And everything. So, maybe that's something you guys could invest in. I'm just saying. It's in demand. Okay, we're going to bring in our next lady. So we're going to bring in Angela.
Hi, everybody. How you doing, guys? Everybody all right?
Hi, Angela. How are you?
I'm very well, my dear. Not too bad.
So tell me a bit about yourself, sis.
I'm Angela. I'm an employment specialist. I've been doing it for many years now, working with vulnerable people, mental health patients, that sort of thing. I've been in a relationship for 4 years. In my spare time, I work with BBMC with the Reggae Star Factor that's going live at the moment. We're having a great time on that. So I've got a day job and an evening job at the moment. So I'm a little bit jaded today because we had our live stream yesterday. So bear with me. I've decided not to drink, but I don't know, seeing all these glasses of wine, I might have to partay.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so we're going to bring in Olivia, our sixth lady.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Olivia. How you doing?
I'm good.
So just in case you didn't watch last week's show, we've been focusing on a series on well-being. We focus on fitness and eating healthy. So do check out that episode after, in your own leisure. But Olivia, if you want to just tell our viewers who don't know about you, who you are and what you do, even though I kind of put out there.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Kaz. And yes, I'm Olivia. For those that don't know me, I'm the founder of ScriptFit. And ScriptFit is a health and fitness organization. And what I do and what I look at helping people to live. So energizing your body for today, in order for you to have a life of longevity for tomorrow. You see, what the issue is that health and well-being over the years hasn't been a focal point for many. And as we're now in a pandemic, it's heightened its cause. So I'm here to help people to live, help them to navigate through looking through healthy choices in terms of the physical, their emotional well-being, mental health, and the spiritual health as well. So it's a 3-part framework in which ScriptFit operates. And like I said, the mission is for you to live and not have a premature death. And that can be achieved at any time.
Right.
So that's me in a nutshell.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You need to sort your connection. Okay, thank you, Trevor, for that info. Guys, I do sincerely apologize, but we seem to be having some technical glitches on our side. We may go back off and come back in. It will just be myself and Jay change, but we will come back if needed. How are you guys seeing us? You guys seeing us okay, ladies?
Yeah.
We are, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We're gonna go straight.
I'm seeing you okay, but you're breaking up a bit.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do?
Just might speak for me.
Okay. Right. Just bear with 1 moment. Is there a bit of a delay?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? All right. Just bear with 1 moment. Well, we're going to apply the first question. Okay, do you want to, you read this out, man, because I need my spectacles, mate.
Okay,
and
cool.
I'm trying to keep out there.
All right, so the first question, when one feels within that their relationship has run its course, in their view, is it fair to continue so as, not to hurt their partner, or should they come clean and be honest?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to need the ladies to have that conversation. We're going to try and sort out our technical bit, and then we're going to jump right back in with you guys. So
before we go, did you guys get that? Because I just read it for the first time. Did it make sense?
I couldn't read the end of it.
Okay, let me read it again. So when one feels that within themselves, their relationship has run its course, it's not what it is, is it fair to continue in that relationship, to not hurt their partner, or come clean and be honest that, you know what, I'm just not in this anymore? You get that?
Yeah. Got that.
Got it.
All right, so
okay.
Do you guys want to start the conversation? So if we can, what do you think? Let's start with one of the married ladies.
Yeah, maybe do married and then non-married. Yeah.
So go straight at.
Who's ready for it? Because someone might be ready for it.
Who's ready to answer that question?
Well, I could answer it from my perspective. Yeah, as a married person, I basically think that if your relationship to you has run its course, and you don't think there's anything that you can do to salvage it, then why would you stay in it just because you don't want to hurt that person's feelings? Because in the long run, you're going to. Because if your heart's not in the relationship, what's the point? You might as well be honest with that person, so you're giving them a chance to go and find something that's better for them, and yourself a chance to find something. I think especially if there's no children involved, or why would you stay? So for me, obviously I'm married now, but before I became married, if I was in a relationship and I didn't feel like it was going anywhere, I wasn't one of those people that would just stay. I would just end it. So yeah, but obviously I've been in relationships before where I know it wasn't going anywhere, but I was really in love with that person. So that's different. But if from your point of view, you're not happy in the relationship, then you should leave it. Period. So yeah, that's my.
Okay. Anybody else wants to? Thank you, Marika.
Wait, just before we move on, so Marika, like the example that you just gave about the relationship before that, it was the other way around, right? So did that person they stayed with you. In regards to, if you look at, the shoes are on the other foot now, the tables are turned. So if that person, they might have been feeling like that, but you had the love more than they did, but they didn't just up and leave. Well, I don't know this.
Well, I mean, I've before I got married to my husband, I've had relationships that I've ended, but also I've been dated guys that have ended it with me because they didn't think it was going anywhere, or I wasn't for them, and I'd rather they had told me yes, even though it might have hurt at the time, but I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. So, I've had to just take it. I'm not one of those ones that would say, but no, let's work on it. If they didn't want to be with me, then I'm going to let them go. That's just me. Now, if my husband turned around and told me he wanted to leave me tomorrow, then maybe I'd want to work at it. We've been together a long time, 20 years. I'm not just going to go, okay, babe, good luck. No, that's different. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that answer your question?
Would you not say that the reason? But would you not say that be different? Because obviously, when you're saying like dating or you're getting to know that person, you're getting to know that person. So if it's kind of run its course, then it's easy for you to just say, okay, it's not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
Let's go about our own way. Whereas if you're committed to that person, you're married.
If your marriage is run its course, then it's a different thing. I'd want to know, why do you think our marriage has run its course? Where, what's wrong? So you'd go a bit deeper into it. You'd want to sit. You'd want to have sessions to talk about it. You might want to bring in someone to help. But when it's just dating, maybe you've been dating for 6 months, even a year, and that person says, you know what, we've been together a year, I really don't think this is right for me, and they give you a reason, then, for me, I would respect that, and I would respect their honesty. I'd rather they did that than maybe play around behind my back because they're not happy, or that, I would rather just, then they tell me, and I'd be the same. I'm not, I would rather just be straight with that person.
I'm sorry to drag this out because there's so many other people to speak, and I see Sasha, but Marika, I want to ask you. So let's say I see your hands sparkle, and Sasha, we're gonna get to it, but it's only because some things you've got to say to the person who's saying it, but expand on it as a collective. But let's say the relationship has been as long as the marriage, because sometimes it's hard to put the same respect on a relationship if it's not a marriage. But if that time's been the same frame, same duration of time, is it as easy as that, or would you not still feel some type of way to just?
I think if you're with someone for a long time in a relationship, it's just as it's no different in a way than being in a marriage. So I've only had one other long relationship before my husband, and I knew for a long time that relationship was not right for me, but I did stay in it for longer than I should have, but I knew it wasn't right for me. Why did I do that? Because I felt like I was really in love with that person and I should try and make it work. But it wasn't. It was really not going anywhere, and in the end, I had to come to that conclusion and just say, end it, even though the other person didn't want it to be ended, but it clearly was not a good relationship for neither of us. So I think it doesn't matter if you're not married. If you're in a relationship for a long time, it's still a big deal. It's still very difficult to end a relationship if you've been together for a long time. So but it's easier if it is just in the beginning of dating, just in getting to know. But once you've gone past that point and you're in a relationship, it is hard. But for me, I had to do that. I had to just be brave and say, you know what, I need to walk away from this person and I'll get over it. And it took me a while to get over it, quite a few years. But if I hadn't have walked away, I wouldn't be in the marriage that I have now. So I don't.
That's a good point. I like that. Okay, so Sasha and Sparkle, you wanted to add to that.
Yeah. Did you want to go ahead, Sparkle? Your hand was up first.
Go on, baby. I'm behind you. I'm behind you.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, from my perspective, I do agree with
enough, yeah.
A lot of what
Marika was sweet, man.
Listen
I
to
know, but you do chat a lot.
I'm sorry, I can hear it. Someone's talking. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Marika was saying. I think my additional from my personal experience is you have to, at the end of the day, you have to serve your own happiness. And as much as you don't want to hurt somebody, it's really important. You don't want to be in a relationship until old age and then realize that you've wasted your life. Like, you only get one life on this earth, and it's about making the most of it and being as happy as you can. And I think, you know, if you're not into that person, you're in love with that person anymore, then really you're doing them a favor, because nobody wants to be with somebody that doesn't love them. So that's what I think anyway.
Well, thank you, Sasha. Sparkle.
Okay. Yeah, I take on board both your views on this, but in terms of relationship, for me, I see relationship just like growth in 3 levels. There's the fun, there's the growing, and there's the complacency. And as far as I'm concerned, I've always had a view that relationships lack conversation and communication. Because if you're getting to a point where you're feeling that this relationship is coming to an end, and to the point where you're asking yourself whether I should leave or not, or go, that means the communication in that relationship wasn't fast, it wasn't forward, it wasn't forthcoming. Because you should be in a position throughout your relationship where things are not looking right, that you can actually talk about it. So that if you came to the point where you have to end that relationship, you're both understanding why, and you're both on mutual ground, because nobody likes to be hurt. And when you end a relationship, if you take the time to say, well, I'm going into this relationship, you're actually making a commitment, okay? And both of you are making that commitment. You're both in this agreement that we're going to start a life together. Nobody knows what tomorrow gives. But the lack of communication, understanding each other, and the growth, the natural growth, is where the problem always lies. Because I don't think you should ever be in a position where you feel, oh, you know, I've got to make a choice. Should I stay here for the sake of staying here because I don't want to hurt him? Or should I go? Should I say, let's go? And then I worry about how he's going to feel in the end. Because I believe what you put out in the universe is what's going to come back to you. And I also believe in karma. So at the end of the day, I think the communication throughout the relationship, a positive relationship, a solid relationship, will get you to the point where both of you will be in that same agreement, because you both have an understanding of what is going wrong and why it's not going right. That's just my view. I hear a lot.
Anybody else want to add to that?
Well said.
Okay.
I agree with you.
But then saying that, but we do have people like women in relationships, you know, with men, and they can kind of see that it's run its course and they're still wanting to stay in that relationship. So why do you think that is? If they know that relationship has run its course and they're still staying there, even though they're not happy, they may have children together, etc., not potentially married to that person, but living with them, but you know, they've got children, they maybe got a mortgage with that man. Why do you think then women tend to stay in that relationship, even though they know it's run its course?
I believe in relationships are like a wheel, a big wheel. You can press the stop button at any time when you're single and you've got no children, no commitment. When you've got kids and you've got a mortgage, etc., you have to be careful when you press that button. Okay, and for me, yes, you've got to think of the consequences as a result of leaving that relationship, especially if you've got kids or a mortgage. But you know what? Mortgage is money. You just have to work it out, do what you need to do. But in terms of children, you're thinking about the emotion, the impact, mental impact, etc. But there are women, sometimes, I'm not going to say there are women, sometimes we all, men and women, do things that we don't want to do, and because of our insecurities or lack of self-worth or self-knowledge, understanding oneself, you understand? So they stay there. It's a hard thing. It's a hard balance. But you know what? Putting it into a sort of like looking at it as a big wheel when I can press that button. Again, what it comes back to is communication. It comes back to communication, and it comes back to understanding. And it's like, you know, friends have come to me and asked me, well, you know, I'm in this position and this man's doing blah blah blah, I'm doing this, etc. And I said, well, look, right, do a list of 2 things, positives and negatives. And in the middle of those 2 lists, do the things that you want and what you feel, emote for yourself, not about anybody else, just for you. You know, and look at it, and then marry all the lists together and start, you know, evaluating, erasing, and balancing what really is right for you. And that's not just about women; it's men too. But you know what? You know, for us, we are like, you know, when we go into a relationship, generally we think about, oh yeah, we want to have this family unit, you know, the house, the family, the car on the drive, going on summer holidays with the kids, blah 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 blah, you know. But no, in reality, you may not have kids, but you can still have the holiday, you and your partner. You may not go on holiday, but you can still do other things more positive in the relationship. It's about what your expectations are, and also, you know what it is, you know, it's like, if you walk through a door, okay, and you walk yourself and a friend or partner walks through a door, and every time you walk through the door, there's somebody there, you kick it. The person behind you always kick it too. But the minute you stop kicking it, the person behind doesn't understand why you stop kicking it, because they're just mirroring what you were doing. But you know what you're thinking, but they don't know what you're thinking. So nobody knows what another is thinking about. You understand? So for me, it's like, boy, yeah, you've got kids. I've got to think of that, you know, what's best for them. But is it good for them to see something that's not working? Because kids have second sense, just like we as adults have. You know? Maybe I might be a bit cold there, but anyway, that's me.
Can I just say something? Is that all right?
Yes.
Go ahead, Elena. Remember, ladies, we've only got on your question 1. We've got 1 minute to go through.
Okay, so in terms of what Sparkle has said in regards to getting, you know, I'm a single woman, and in regards to just stopping that wheel at any time, I disagree with that statement. And the reason why I disagree with that statement, because, you know, we have a choice, especially myself, and this is from my perspective, I have a choice whether to get on that wheel or not. Number 1, I have to look at intent. Intent is a very important thing. If we're not going, 2 cannot walk together if they're not along the same path and they're not in agreement from day 1. So this is where, for me, intent comes. If there's no intent, if your intentions are something that is negative and my intentions are something that is positive, then it's not going to work. So there's no point me even getting this. Can you hear me?
Okay, it looks like we've lost Olivia for a moment.
No, we can hear you.
No, we can all hear her.
Yeah.
I can hear her.
Maybe us. Maybe we can't hear. That's fine.
I think it's not
We can.
Kaz, I think it's yours.
Oh my God.
It's yours, darling.
This is going to be outside. Okay. All right. Sorry, Lydia. You want to carry on?
Carry on, darling.
Yeah, sorry.
I think in the midst of you guys, we're going to come in and come back out.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys continue.
Continue,
okay,
Olivia.
Right. So, yeah. So in terms of like intent is so important. And, you know, for you, in order to literally to walk along that path with somebody, you have to be in agreement as to where you're going, because there's no point as a single person, me just getting on that wheel and just spinning it for the sake of spinning its sake. You know, I'm at the age, I'm still very young, but everything that I do right about now, it has to be by intent. Because if somebody turned around and said to me, Olivia, you've got 1 year to live, am I going to waste that time just spinning on a wheel because I want to have fun? Or am I really going to go by intent? It's just the same with, you know, your circle of friends might change. They might not even be your friends. There might be people that have been there for convenience, or they've just been there for a laugh. But if someone turned around and said to you, you've got 1 year to live, what would you really do with that? Are you just going to just go and rant? I'm just speaking of my my part where I don't put my expectations in anybody, because if I put my expectations in anybody, guess what? I'm always going to be disappointed. So the best thing for me to do is to build myself up. So if I'm building myself up, then especially for me as a single person, it's important that I make myself whole, so that my expectations then doesn't lie in somebody else having to complete me and me getting on this ride. You know, so I was just thinking of something else that you'd said, Anita. So just bear with me a moment.
So Lydia, yeah, just quickly, yeah? As you were saying, can I just state that when I talked about the wheel, I talked about the wheel once you're in a relationship. I'm not talking about just jumping on the wheel.
Okay.
So maybe I didn't make myself clear, because I totally agree exactly what you're saying. I totally agree. Totally.
Okay.
But anyway, go on. Sorry, I your train of thought. Sorry, madam. Go on.
Yeah, so in terms of, you know, commitment, you know, I see commitment as something different. You know, I don't see a relationship, for example, you know, the same as paying a mortgage. You could step out of a mortgage at any time. You could declare yourself bankrupt at any time, you know, but again, everything has to be with intent. It's like, what are you getting into that relationship? So where Kaz had asked the question earlier about just stepping away from a relationship, you know, it has to boil down to, what is the reason? What is the initial reason that two may separate? So I think, you know, it all depends on what the matter is and whether that could be worked through or not. But if it's a case of where, you know, one person is in love with the person, or whether they're in love or in lust, it could be not deciding whether or not being able to differentiate between the two. And it's just figuring out, okay, am I really going to waste my time? Because, you know, I was in a relationship. Well, I wouldn't even call it a relationship, because it wasn't a relationship. And, you know, I wouldn't say that it was ever a waste of time, because it never was. When I look back at life, I could probably say, oh, well, if I hadn't have invested so much of my time. But when I look at this, it wasn't anything as per se. This person was a person of convenience. You know, it was a person that was in my life for like literally 3 years. But if I had literally just taken that time back to think, did we, in the beginning, did we even set up that intent? Okay, where is this thing going? What are we going to be doing? And because both of us stepped into it like, okay, let's see how it goes. That let's see how it goes, that ended up somewhere else. And this is where sometimes we can get hurt. It's just putting yourself in a vulnerable position if that intent is not clear from day dot. And that's, you know, that's just how I look at it. That intent has to be so ingrained that you've got to know, where's that person's destination. If that person hasn't got a destination and you don't have a destination, it's like taking a train and just randomly thinking, where am I going? But I believe that intent should be there from the get-go, so that you know exactly where you're going. And then, like I said, nobody gets hurt. You can't say, okay, this person has fallen out of love with me. This person has, you know, now decided that I'm not for him, or vice versa. When a conversation and a discussion could have been had from the get-go, then at least you know where you stand, whether to go left or whether to go right, or whether you go straight and continue with the getting to know this person.
With you every step of the way, totally agree. Totally. Intent is a key thing in a relationship. Totally agree. Totally.
So can I say something? We were talking about when you know that you are ready to leave it.
And you're feedback, so you're echoing. Have you got something on loud? You've got a lot of people.
Can you hear me now?
You're still getting that bit of echo. Is it me?
Okay, maybe put some headphones. Someone's got.
It was actually, yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, go on, Ange.
Okay, so I'm going to probably mute everybody's mic until the person is speaking.
Yes.
Angela?
Okay. I was thinking about the question that you asked about whether if you're in a relationship and you know that you're not happy in the relationship and you want to leave, should you stay? That was the question, right? Right.
Yeah.
So I think if you're in a relationship and you know it's not working for you, then you should leave because it's about you, isn't it? If you're in a partnership with somebody else, you need to make yourself important in that decision. If you know in your heart that it's not good for you, why would you stay? I understand that when you're married and you've got your mortgage, your kids, and people tend to stay longer than they should because they have other things to consider. But if you don't have anything else to consider apart from your own personal happiness, I don't see the point in staying. I think next, move on, mate. It ain't working for me. So see ya. But I've been in long-term relationships, but the only difference is that you plan your escape. You don't just get up one day and say, I don't want to be in this relationship and leave. If you've got your kids and you've got a house together, you've got to plan it. How am I going to get out of this in order to make me and my kids happy? That's what I think.
Agree.
All right, so I think we should the next question. The next question: what percentage of the dating list is focused around understanding each other's aspirations in regards to a relationship? If this appears to be the direction in which the acquaintance.
Can't hear
you.
now.
No.
Can't
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me now?
You're breaking up. Can't hear the question.
My God, the devil is listen, the devil is a liar.
Believe.
Oh, you hear me?
Nope.
No.
You're not.
Can't hear, babe.
No one on me, you know. No.
Frozen. Adjua, did you have any opinions on that question while we're waiting? Nope.
No, I did want to say.
Let me. You know what? Go ahead, Marika. Wait, Marika. Let me ask you a question. This is completely off of topic. Completely off of topic. Are you Tasha's friend that makes the lemon cheesecake with the ginger base?
Yeah,
I need one of them.
I remember you from World of Faith. Yes. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
I do. I haven't made it for a long time though.
She makes the best lemon cheesecake, guys. The best.
You're so funny. You're so funny. Thank you for remembering my lemon cheesecake. Oh, but you know what I was going to say though, that some people that would stay in a relationship because they feel sorry for the guy. But also, I think our generation, the whole dating thing and going out to find a guy, it's not like it used to be. So some people, I'm sure, will just stay somewhere if it's comfortable, just because they can't be asked to go back out there and start dating and doing all that internet dating. True. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the relationship's kind of, it's not going anywhere, but it's not bad. Some people might just be, you know what? Let me just stay where it's easy.
Yeah, but
Personally,
that's comfortableness.
That's
That's very much that's
Because
aspect. I think
if you're leaving the guy just because you feel sorry, if you're leaving because you're not that happy and you're worried about hurting the guy's feelings, if you're worried about hurting his feelings, he can't be that bad, can he? So what I'm saying is like.
But I would add to work.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, I was cutting in.
I would add worth to that. Because I feel that when people settle in relationships, for example, and they're not necessarily happy with where they are, I believe that's down to worth. Because if you knew who you were, you wouldn't settle. If you knew exactly what you want, you wouldn't settle. If you knew who you were,
if you're that type of person to settle, is that a bad thing? That's all I'm saying. Like, if that's makes you
bad thing. No, that's not what I'm saying.
If you're wasting time, if you're literally wasting time by settling, who loses in the long run? It's going to be you, and it's going to be the other person. So there might actually be somebody that might actually be waiting on that person, waiting for that belief. So you're literally hindering somebody else's opportunity of finding his perfect. Well, I'm not saying that there's a perfect person, but the one that is for him, and it's just like the one that is for you. So I just think that it's just, you know, you're just wasting other people, you're wasting each other's time. If you know it's not going nowhere, then just, but like I said, it just depends on what the situation is, whether, you know, the person is married and exactly what the cause is, because it has to be a deeper root to it than just saying, okay, right, see you later, I'm going.
That's what,
if it's just about the question was, you know, you want to leave, but you're just worried about hurting the other person's feelings. If that's the only issue,
that's the
only issue.
But I strongly feel the same way you are feeling. If he doesn't feel that now, he will be feeling that shortly. So it's about getting there first before, you know, because at the end of the day, even though you feel like
getting there first,
I must be wrong, you feel at that point that, oh,
she was like, Sparkle was like, you will not punk me, homie. I'm gonna get there before you get there. How you ain't get my angles?
You ain't getting
that.
My heart.
So no, but what I'm saying is, even if he hasn't got there yet, he will get there eventually, because at some point in that relationship, the same way you are feeling, you're going to start retracting the way you were from the beginning of the relationship. So there's going to be a change in how you actually go through this relationship. And I believe he's going to pick that up too. And he will be starting to think the same way. So you know what? As a woman, as we do, even though we knew that's what we wanted to do, if he decides to do it, we want to know, what do you mean? Why are you going? What did we do? So rather than have that headache, you understand? So hello, before you throw me down, I'm going. Bye. Bye.
Wait, can I ask a question though? Like when I heard the question, I think the reason why I didn't answer it was because I have a certain mindset, and I don't want to ever make anybody feel like, oh, but my mindset is this. I'm a lot more aligned with Olivia in the sense that you're not going to get me for longer than 3 months, and I don't know where this is going. Like, you're not going to get this long-term situation, and I don't know, this is the goal, this is the purpose, this is the plan, this is the way that we're going, and I won't be able to see at some point if we are going in a direction that we can build on. So like with what Olivia and Sparkle have been saying about building, I really believe that. And I feel like too many times, in a sense, I feel like we jump into a relationship just because we want someone in the bed, or we want a partnership, or and so we then get to this space where it's like, okay, we're not going anywhere. Well, I'm like, well, how long did it take you to know you weren't going anywhere? So that's my thought process. So my thought, and listen, it's just me. I'm just saying, it's just me. My thought process is, when I step into a relationship, unless you are literally stepping into a relationship and be like, hey, it's just a 1-2 quick thing, and it's nothing major, there's nothing deep there, I'm not trying to be in a deep relationship, okay, fine. But if you're actually someone that's out looking to settle down and have that kind of relationship, I think that there should be certain things that within the first, I'll give you 6 months, I'll give you that, but there should be a moment where you can kind of know and see, hey, this is someone that I can build with. And one of the things that, I've been married for 23 years. One of the things that I tell people all the time is, the reason why I believe me and my husband have lasted so long is because we have not missed each other's turning points, and we have not missed each other's growth points. And a lot of the times I feel like relationships break down because we're missing valid moments in each other's lives without communication of, actually, this was a turning point in my life, you missed it, and so where we were once going this way, I'm going this way now, and you're still going straight. So it's not even the fact that we haven't grown together, it's the fact that we've missed each other. So that's why I was kind of like, let me not say nothing about that, because I kind of feel like, I think it's a bit more deeper than just, oh, I'm tired of it. Well, why? Because if you were there for longer than 6 months to a year, there was something that you thought you could build with this person. So what has made you think at this juncture? Because if you tell me I'm bored, then I would say to you, get a hobby. Because realistically, relationships take growth. They take moments of mundane. They take moments of you having to do work. And that's just me. But I'm going to be quiet now. I love y'all.
I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say along the lines that you're perfectly right, Mrs. Ramsey. It was really true what you're saying. When you said that at the beginning, 3 months, I think that you meet somebody, it takes me longer than 3 months to work out who they are. And some people tell you they are A, and in a year you find out they are B, and then you get whiplash and you don't know where you are with them. And that is when it's time to leave. Because you are fake. You are who you said you were.
I hear that. But, and that's why I stretched it, Angie. Angie, I stretched it. I gave you 6 months, girl. I stretched it a little bit.
I've been in a relationship for 10 years. Listen, all of a sudden, hold on. All of a sudden, you and him said you were going to go to destination B. And then suddenly, he's gone to destination C, and you don't know what happened. Because he didn't, this is not what he said. And that is when...
But at the end of the day, like Ms. Ramsey said, and I was saying, it's communication. But I don't put time constraints in terms of relationship. Unless you are one of these people that believes love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. I don't put time constraints. But if you know yourself and you have a goal or an aspiration in your life set, we all have a plan. Subconsciously or openly, we all have a plan, what we want, what our expectation, our desires and our wants in life, as is the individual that we happen to say, let's start something with. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, like Miss Ramsey said, and who was it? Not Sasha, Olivia said, it's about planning and it's about having you have a destination, you have a guide, you know. So I don't put, Miss Ramsey gave 3 months. You're lucky. You should know after 2 days. But anyway.
You know what? Let me say this, though. Because, okay, as women, let's just talk as women. We know when someone's BSing. Like, let's not get it twisted. Why I say time restraint, Sparkle, it's not because I'm saying, oh, I'm gonna give you these time and it's gonna be like if 3 months, if you don't prove yourself, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a moment in us when we know, yeah, you ain't really, do you know, like we know, like we can meet people and we just know your intent, like what Livia was saying, your intentions aren't good. You're not.
Integrity. But then the trouble is, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself, that I've done this many a time before. I'm not saying that's what I've done now, but when a woman enters into a relationship, and we have to enter into the relationship from a place of, if this is all I'm going to get, in terms of I'm not there to change him. Do we now get into a relationship hoping that this guy will change? And then suddenly it's like, hold on a minute, destination A has gone this way and destination B has gone that way. But if we've gone, and that's why I keep going back to intent, if we've gone with our intentions, and our intentions is that we are not, in this relationship to change him, then this is where it goes. But if we get into that relationship, okay, I've got an expectation that he's going to change, and I'm hoping that if I bed him in this particular way, then he's going to feel like he falls in love with me. But it's not really a love thing then, because like I said, going back to intent, if we go to that position of wanting to change him, then this is where destination crash comes in. Okay, now I've suddenly seen that you weren't listening to me in the beginning, and you were talking, as Mrs. Ramsey said, and Adria said, we've gone into, he said this in the beginning, and I said that, but then that all boils down to listening. Were we listening at the beginning when he said, let's see where this goes?
That part says,
how are we listening? Because there's times as women, and I know I've done this in the past, where I've gone in with the intent of, okay, this is a good man. He may change, or he said, let's go and go with the flow. But then I haven't listened to it. What did he say in the beginning? There was no direction. There was no plan. You're not going to get into an aeroplane with the captain that just says, let's see where we're going to end up. You've got to have a destination. Where are we going? What time we get in there? So if there's none of that, then we can't turn around and get into that relationship and say, okay, this man has suddenly drifted off. No, he said it. He was clear from the beginning. You're my ting. Let's leave it as you're my ting and leave it. If you're ready to be his ting, be his ting. But then when you want to, emotionally invest yourself in the ting, then you can't turn around and say that, the guy's just gone left and, I've gone right. He said it from the beginning. You're a ting, be a ting, be in agreement with the ting. So yeah, that's my take. Were we listening?
What?
Well, we spent a lot of time on the question.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about, communication.
So we've got actually time for other questions,
I agree with you, Olivia, yeah? But as far as I'm concerned, from the man open his mouth from the day dot, if you ain't listening, poor thing. Take out the cotton bud from your eardrum and listen to what the man is saying, because there's too many signs out there. When you get to a certain age, that's why I talk about there's 3 different levels in the relationship. The playing, the game, let's just have fun. The trying to get to know, and the settling. So you see, if you're at the age, a certain age, and you're still in the let's have fun, you're looking for trouble. Yeah? You need to find yourself.
Can I go on one question?
You don't keep a blame man. Man is not the obstacle here. It's about you. Find yourself. That's my view.
I can't really see you, Carol. But
sorry, can I just ask you guys? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, we can.
Oh, you can hear us. Oh, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Okay, well, you guys, whatever you guys were talking about, we just got the end of what Olivia just said, and I could just say, thumbs up. Ladies,
thumbs up.
Yeah, seriously, we do sincerely apologize. The team.
So, Anita, is that red flag?
So,
is that red flags that team?
Sorry?
So where when you were just mentioning the points that you'd raised, would you define that as red flags?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yeah, Anita.
Oh, yes. Red flag. Red flag. Not Miss Mosley. Red flag. Red flag. And I'm not talking about that monthly. Stick sticking out your eardrum if you're not listening.
But then is that the case of, where again, blinded because he looks fine, she looks fine, she looks good, but then she has no character. She has no personality. He has no personality. He has no character. So
yeah, but babe, isn't that still about purpose? You have to understand yourself. Yes. You know yourself. From a young girl, we grow up and we're watching I don't know how the ages of everybody on the group, but we're watching things like Dallas and Play in Place, where you have a family network, and husband, wife, and children and family. You understand? So you have that. So like Play in Place and them kind of programs. Sorry, I'm excusing my age. Oh, all right, let me come a little bit younger. Coronation Street and EastEnders, yeah? But what I'm saying is, you have a relationship, you have a family, husband, wife, and a little, family, a car in front of the drive and a nice house. But what I'm talking about is when you grow up, you kind of know these things like Dallas. You think, that I want to have this and this is what I want. You're planning. Women plan. Don't ever believe men don't plan, because they do plan. We always believe they don't. If we believe men are shallow, but they're not as shallow as we believe, because like women, I'm not saying that's my view. We look for men that are a replica of our fathers and how we grew and what we understand, right? So we seem to attract to men that have the attributes our fathers had. I might be wrong. This is my view, yeah? But men have the same thing. They look at their mothers as well. You know, I mean, sometimes we have distraught families that not all of them are, you know, the nuclear family, very good family. But anyway, men look for women that sort of replicate, you know, what their mothers they stand for and their principles, etc. So as far as I'm concerned, if I say I meet a man and the first day I meet the man is already ordering drink, but he's waiting for me to check out my purse and everything. Not that I want a man to buy me everything, but I'm saying to myself, hello, where you come out? I have to ask a question. Not that I want him to buy me everything, but I want to see that, you know, he's got some, you know, how can I put
something about him.
Yes, I believe in God bless the child that has his own, but I need to see that you have about.
Yeah.
Top C. You understand? But that's just my yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, you can hear us?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
We can hear you, yeah.
There's a slight delay.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, so
I don't know, where do you go from this? You know, we missed a lot of it, but from what we was hearing, obviously, I think it's really refreshing to hear women understanding that some of the issues that men have to deal with is really based on a woman not listening to the reality that we're kicking at the start. Like, I'm a very clear and transparent communicator. So when I'm in a situation, relationship, or what's that thing that entanglement, yeah, out there. Whenever those you know, any of those three arrive, my safety net is that whatever happens in this relationship is not going to be something that I feel bad about, because I lay down the basics at the start. Like, listen, if I'm looking for a woman at that time, then she'll get that understanding. If I'm not, then she'll also get that understanding. You get it? So if I'm not looking, but I'm a man and I'm attracted to what we've got, then, like you said, it's a thing. I might not say it like that, but we're grown and we both understand that I'm not actually pursuing, let's go and, you know, build a future together right now. But I like you and I like what this could be right now. Sometimes you can say it in so much different ways to a woman, but if the vision of that woman is to be more than that, well over their head, yeah? And a lot of the time, the man has to pick that up. When it goes sour, when it goes all wrong later on, oh, he's a dog, this and that. Hold on. I was a dog when you met me. Or not, I don't mean cheating. I mean, like, I was clear and transparent about, I weren't trying to be no one else, but all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. So it's very refreshing to hear that you sisters have either experienced it or have understood that that's what comes in these situations with a lot of men. We understand, you know? So we don't even know that we understand it because...
But Change, can I just say that it's I completely get what you're saying. It's good for men to kind of be transparent, but let's not forget, let's not just put this strictly to men. They string you along all the time. They talk a good talk and walk a good walk and look a certain way, and they're leading you whatever to get whatever they want. So sometimes, you know, when we're talking about the first question, it's not until later on that you realize that this person who you've fallen for isn't exactly who you thought they were. So
I'm sorry,
good, but you also have to kind of have, you know, you've got to have your wits about you and look out for the red flags, like Sparkle said.
Yeah, but it's not even so much that. Like you say, you make it clear you're transparent, but you're transparent in your view. Are you transparent for the woman? Do you cross-clarify that they've understood what you're actually saying? And that's the problem. And that's why you say something else.
Especially when people want to be in relationships with each other and they meet somebody they like the person, and because they want to be in that relationship, what they're hearing isn't
not what they actually happening.
What they want to hear. That's right. What they want to hear. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I talk about. Men fail. That's where they fail. They don't cross-check.
Hold on. No, we'll put you on mute.
Sorry. I just want to make sure, that's why I said it very clearly, and I thought I covered all of the angles, because the reality is still going to be based on what did you want to hear. Because if a man is being very clear and saying, boy, you know, we see how it going, you know, I'm just getting on with my thing, you have to be a damn fool to not know what that means. You understand? So a man doesn't need to say, oh, listen, if you don't want to sleep with, you know, if you don't want to build with me in a local friends and benefits, yeah, then go through the door. It doesn't have to be rude and you know, tactless. A man can say something so simple as, boy, you know, well, I'm just doing me, you know, and it's nice that you're around. Where you have to be a woman who definitely doesn't understand simple things to take that as, oh, actually he's just shy. You know what I mean? Because a man will show you if he's into you, and it doesn't need to be anything other than a woman accepting that, you know what, I chose to hear what I wanted to hear, to see what I wanted to see. It went south, and you know what? Salute. He didn't sell me a dream. I built this whole dream for myself, and I thought it was going to be something else. That's the reality of some of these situations that we have to start accepting.
Okay, on that note, I'm just going to play a quick video and we can continue the conversation. Your mics will all be muted. Just one moment, ladies.
Number one, he never contacts you first. Number two, he makes you wait. For example, he might make you wait 2 to 3 days before he responds to your text message. Number three, he cancels repeatedly. Let me tell you something. If someone's into you, they'll make time for you. Number four, he's always flirting other women on and offline. They're gonna hate me for this one. Number six, you haven't met each other's friends or families. Number seven, he told you that he doesn't want a relationship, but still want relationship benefits.
Okay, ladies. Did you guys see that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So going based upon what was just shared, who wants to take it from there?
He's making valid points. I think it's obvious, isn't it? If you met somebody who claims they like you and then they don't, you send them a message, they don't respond for 3 days, well, you can't possibly be in their thoughts then. You're not looking forward to hearing from you. When you meet somebody who's into you, you don't have those thoughts. You don't think, oh, when's he phone me? You know he's going to call. He's called already. You haven't got to feel that level of insecurity in the beginning. If it's like that at the beginning, then it can't work, can it? Relationships are easy if they're going to work. You want him to contact you. You want to contact him. It's not a thing. If you're not cancel because you're dying to meet with them. If he's cancelling, I'm not really interested in you unless there's something. If it's a regular cancellation, you've got to look into it. Those points that he gave out, I think they're blatantly obvious ones.
Oh, can't hear you, Marika.
Can you hear me now? That kind of stuff, that rings bells for me when I was like 18. You know, when you meet a guy and they're trying to play a little hard to get and you text them. But sorry, after 20, 21, no time for that. That's when you need to realize, no, this is not how you deal with guys. Girls do it too. I know young girls that, oh, I'm not texting him for a few days. I'm going to make him sweat. That's so juvenile. But obviously, there's a place for that when you're in your teens and stuff. But as women, big women that we are, no. If you're still accepting that kind of treatment, then that's when the self-worth comes into it. Like, you should know that is not how you deserve to be treated. And you shouldn't be doing it either. It works both ways. You shouldn't be playing all those silly games. Oh, I'm going to go on like I'm busy. But really you're at home in your pajamas. But you're making out you're out with your friends because you're playing hard to get. It's just, no time.
I think sometimes it's not just the playing hard to get. I think what the guy said on the video, literally somebody is just not that into you if that's the way that they're behaving. If they're taking long to get back to you, if someone's interested in you, they're going to show you their interest. They're going to try and want to be around you all the time, but they're going to try and want to make plans and make their intent known. And if they're not doing that, then you can see that that person. Just, that's
especially
when
when you're a mature person. Like, that's not what you expect, is it? You just don't. You know, and that's going to send alarm bells ringing. Is it just someone that he wants a friends with benefits type situation? Because he should want to take you out. He should want you to meet his friends. You should want, you know, that social, you know, to me, that would show not much interest. Exactly. You know,
I do think that sometimes men, well, not just men, but people don't know how to date. So they'll be doing these things, not realizing that that's going to be off-putting, or they're showing you that they're not interested, not realizing that they need to put their time in, or maybe because people they've dated in the past have accepted that kind of nonsense. And so they don't, sometimes they need somebody to be like, no, I'm not putting up with that. If yeah, exactly, a bit of guidance. If you want me, this is how you need to treat me, and you know, we treat each other with mutual respect. Some people just do not know the dating game. From my experience, I've seen, and I'm just like, you serious? You can't be calling me after 6 weeks, be like, hey, yeah, so what's? I'm not, hello. Do you know how many dates I've been on since then? It's not good.
I personally think it's a twofold debate. You know, there were some points that he raised, and I'm not saying that I agree with everything, and I'm not saying that I disagree with some either. But, you know, when you, even like down to looking at the busyness of a man, for example, if you've got somebody who is just playing games, and then you've got versus somebody who is actually maybe building a business, or they've got, you know, several businesses and they are busy doing stuff. So there's, you know, a difference between a busy man that's going somewhere and a busy man that's not doing nothing. So it's knowing what the difference is. And again, back to, you know, what Sparkle said about communication, finding out, you know, what's going on in the beginning, you know. And I'm going to jump straight to point 6. You know, if as a woman, you're freeing up your goods, you're freeing up your body without even getting to know this person, without even, you know, getting to know their last name. You know, we are the gatekeepers. What we let in is what is to be. But, you know, when you look at even down to like the friendship zone, building up relationships with females, do you bring every female that you're getting to know home? Dating is, you know, I look at dating as pretty much the same. I don't bring everybody that I'm dating. I have to see where it's going. You know, if, again, back to that intent, where is it going? You know, because, you know, my end goal would be marriage. And if it's marriage, it's not just, this person is not just marrying into, like, with just for it to be us. They're marrying into my family. They're marrying into community. I'm not going to bring every single person home. You know, it's, again, getting to know the person, getting to know, okay, are our goals aligning? Are our intentions aligning? Because a female, you know, getting to know a female, for example, you know, if I met, you know, say, for example, I don't know, Kaz today, I met her today. I'm not going to bring her home to my family tomorrow. It's about getting to know that person, because it's just the same way how, you know, a man's, so just exactly how a man's intention may be, so a woman's intentions could be the same. So it's not, so I don't disagree with him saying that you haven't met his family yet. And if he's clear, again, like from the beginning, and he's told you you are that thing, then that's what you are. And if point 6 is he wants the added benefits, then that's up to you whether you're giving it or not. Just know your place and what you're giving. If you know that you're going to be that friends with benefit, be that friends with benefit, rather than trying to act like his wife or his girlfriend when you're not. Clear. And you're opening up yourself for problems. You're opening up yourselves for mental health issues, emotional health. You know, so again, it's like looking at those points. There's certain things within that point, that point system that he said, the 6 points. You know, somebody had messaged me and said, you know, excuse the way it's going to be said, but they said that this man was blocking. He was he was cock blocking, is what I'd got messaged, and that he was breaking the men's code. But the question that I asked is, you know, would every man that has a bad intention for this woman, would you be happy sending your daughter out to date somebody like you? So it's the same as to get to know that information, get to know that person. Would you really want to be bringing that person home and allowing your daughter to be bringing home somebody who potentially could have had those red flags? Because then it doesn't just become your problem, it becomes everybody else's problem. You know, where you saw the red flags, you didn't pick up on them, and then suddenly now it's not just your problem. You've now brought in your friends, you've brought in your family, where they weren't part of the whole agreement from the beginning. When you were bedding that person, they weren't there. You didn't tell them, oh yeah, I'm under the sheets with this person. But the moment problems came, it becomes, oh, the 6 points that he said he's not into me, and now he's treating me as if I'm a cash and carry. He can just come in and go whenever he please. But know what you're setting yourself up for when you're first getting into it. Back to, I can't say it enough, but intent is just everything.
Where's Carol gone?
Let me just say one thing. I would say, like, Olivia, what you said, I understand when you were given the directives of like a busy man or a man that's busy building stuff. But one of the things that I will also say on that is I should never have to guess if you like me.
Exactly.
So my thing is my thing is this though. If you're building a business, you will still let me know you will still let me know what your intent. So I'm not, so my thing is let's not get people to the place where it's like, well, if you know, because I feel like we'll make excuses and that will be a red flag. So the red flag will be, actually, if you marry this person, please believe you will always come second to their business. So that's my thing. You have to be careful. Yeah, of course. You have to be careful with what, like even like what you're saying, what you keep saying about intent. You've got to be careful when you step into something. You've got to look at everything and judge it from the standpoint, like I always say, in whether you're married or long-term relationship, that thing magnifies times 10 when it becomes serious, because you now have just you and this person and what they brought with it and what you brought with it. So I kind of feel like, do I agree with everything that he said? Yeah, I understand, and I get where he was coming from. But I also believe that there are spaces and standpoints where we'll make excuses for stuff like, oh, well, he's building. And it's like, okay, but even if he's building, if you are important to him, you'll know. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm not making no excuses.
I just want to say, you know, the point that the thing that bothered me the most, what you said, I agree with most of what you said, but the busy man thing. If there's a man out there that's looking for someone that he wants to be with, he could be running the country, mate. He's supposed to have time for you. Otherwise, what is he coming for? If he ain't got no time, he ain't got time for a relationship, you ain't got time for him. Why should he be so busy that he can't fit you in? Because I mean, if I've decided that I'm going to be in a relationship, I need to have time to accommodate that relationship.
Of course. And you make time for what's important.
I don't know about no busy man. He better not be busy for me.
No, and that's the thing. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not to say that I'm making exceptions for people that don't contact somebody, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's, you know, it's.
No, the point you were making, to make it clear so that everybody is listening. But it's looking at those things. It's like, if you want to be happy stepping into that relationship, knowing that this guy is busy, like I said, busy doing stuff, he's busy on purpose, or whether he's just busy doing nothing. So that, again, for a woman, it's her choice as to whether she steps into it or not. And if she chooses to step into it and he's not making that time, then she has to know exactly where it's going. And she probably had that gut instinct from the beginning. And it's like Adjua had said, you know, when you look at a relationship, if you're stepping into it and this is how it is from the beginning, you're going to be that second place to the business. But just know what you're stepping into without covering your eyes and covering your ears to what was said and what was shown to you in the first place, is what I'm kind of just saying.
Olivia, going on to what you were saying, I totally agree with you. And when you talk about intent, Olivia, smile, baby, you're a pretty lady, you know. You
but you see, when I talk, I'm getting deep in the thoughts. It's just I kind of
smile, you have to smile. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, if you're meeting a man and you get to the point where you're exchanging numbers with this man, you should be at a point to know from the first conversation and the little move he was making whether you be exchanging numbers for you to be hurting your head that he ain't calling you today or he ain't calling you for 3 days. As you get older in life, you start to realize, you know what, this is a BS making go along, or this is one that's got intentions or integrity, or he's going somewhere. At the end of the day, we go in this thing, we see the man, he look pretty like money, and then he's just shell, he's empty, it's an empty shell. You understand? It's skeleton, not money, no meat on the board. At the end of the day, when you get to a certain point in your life, that's the third stage of relationship. You get to a point, you have to know yourself, understand what it is you want. You may have already bought your house, have a mortgage. You may already have your children who are adults, and you want to set examples. You may be getting to a stage here, like certain people are getting old, and you want to live in company. But you don't want company or uselessness and foolishness. You want something that you don't have to stress about. Do you understand? So the first engagement, you're supposed to try and utilize or try to sift out as much as you can. It may not be perfect, it may not be accurate, but you can have a kind of a gauge because you know what you are wanting. You need to be at that point. And like you say, I have an intent. This is what I want in a relationship. This is what I intend to put in this relationship or give in this relationship. If you are not on that level, bye-bye, Felicia.
But Sparkle, that's, you know, it's great points that were made. But the thing is, it's not everybody that knows what they want. You know, there are people that suffer from low self-esteem. They may feel like, okay, right, I see the red flags, but right about now, you know, this person is showing a little interest. And if they're showing a little interest, you know, I can get behind the sheets. I feel good. I feel sexy. But then it's like I said, it's low self-esteem. It's low confidence. They don't know who they are. So they'll just settle and keep running around with different expectations because they feel that this is what's bringing them worth. And it's not.
Well, I totally agree with you. But then on that stance, I totally agree with you. Well, then do not blame anybody else. Blame yourself. Do not put it on the man. Blame yourself. Find yourself. If you see you make a mistake once, you need to be learning. And if you're not learning by these mistakes, hello, baby, you're going to make the same mistake over and over again. Stop pointing arrows where they shouldn't be pointing. Start pointing to yourself. Because you know what? You have to have self-worth. You have to have integrity. You have to have wanting, yearning for you. We're mothers. We're all right. We're being carrier. We're mothers. We're home builders. We're wives. We're sisters. We're daughters. You know what I mean? We are somebody like the men. They're brothers. They're fathers. They're sons. Do you understand? You need to find yourself. We can't keep throwing it out, throwing the banter out to say it's his fault. That's why I'm hurting. Blah blah blah. If you are hurt by a man's actions, the man never hurts you. You hurt yourself. You know yourself. Vice versa. I know this cold, but I saw it go. Sorry.
It is important to have a strong sense of self and what you want, because at the end of the day, you're with a partner, but there's two of you, and your needs need to be met as well as their needs together. Right. So you're living for yourself. You're not living to make them happy. You're living to make yourself happy. So
hopefully that combines, the two of you combine together at point. Yeah. And when you're like yourself, as a wife, you've come to that point. You got there. Hopefully you've got there, and you have an understanding. You're growing. He's noticing the changes, and he's developing with it. I hope that happens with most marriages. It doesn't. Just like relationship, there are people say I do, and they believe that relationship is more important than the person that's with a partner for the 20 years that never got married. Oh, gone now. Oh, but what's happened here? Hello?
From here.
Well,
can you hear?
Yeah. Now we see you. Yeah, we're back again. Yeah, so,
all right.
At the end of the day, we go through a lot. Relationships build, grow, destroy, create. It's got different angles to it. And I think all of us, the points that has been raised are all significant and powerful. But at the same time, you know, I just don't feel personally for me that we need to apportion blame to any particular person, i.e. the partner or what's happening in the relationship or ourselves. We need to look within.
Well,
And know within.
unless someone's done something to you, then obviously.
Oh, well, hello, that's a different thing.
That's a different story.
They best not sleep with their eyes closed. But
I wouldn't want to be your man.
Champagne there because, you know.
Yeah, that's about.
So again, sincerity, but we've got something else for you. So JJ, you can read this.
I can't.
Right. You see it?
There's a strap line at the bottom. I can't see it.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second.
Can you guys hear us? Yeah.
No, what it is?
Can you read it for us?
The message from Marlene Young at the bottom that's covering the thing that you said.
Yeah, I'm about to read it, but I wanted to make sure that
read it out.
It's covered, Kaz.
Take out Marlene Young's message. Kaz?
Kaz, can you hear us?
You need to read it because it only goes up to I hang up. Oh, here we go. You can see more of it now.
Spec.
Well, do you need to tell your friends that you love them of the opposite sex when you talk to them?
Why can't we? Why can't you?
Kaz, can you read it out?
Oh, insecure.
That lady's insecure. She needs to go find set help.
Can you read it out, Kaz?
Kaz can't hear nothing.
Okay, hold on. I used to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I used to be really good friends with a guy, but he broke off our relationship because his girlfriend hated that I would say love you when I hang up the phone. If you're that insecure that you don't want your partner being loved by their friends, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Agree.
I agree. Especially if you're in that relationship before she came along.
Exactly. I've got so many male friends that I love, and I will say that I love them, but their girlfriends and I get on as well. So I think that is how the man talks to you, talks about you to his girlfriend.
So true.
Do you know what I mean? What is he saying?
Well, yeah. If he's always done it, if he's always spoke to his friends like that, but if it's just one particular friend he only says that to, then maybe that person may be insecure, but maybe she may have a point. But if you speak to all your friends like that, then what's the difference?
I don't talk you wouldn't speak to all your friends like your friends.
Yeah, but you have a certain amount of friends.
It's a difference. I've got male friends that I love, and they've got their girlfriends or they get new girlfriends, but they make it very clear that I'm their friend. So they shouldn't feel insecure about me being around because I'm their friend. I've got my partner who's got female friend, and they call him and they chat. They have really good, warm conversations about their relationships and all sorts of things. I don't feel insecure about that because he hasn't given me any reason to feel insecure about that.
Yeah, I think the partner should be making the girlfriend feel insecure. I'm sorry, insecure, secure, opposite.
Secure, yeah.
So, yeah, but making her feel secure by, making sure that she's been introduced to the friend and, those kind of things so that they all know each other. Just having someone text or call every now and again and say, "Oh, I love you," then you might feel like, "Oh, that's a bit." But it's their responsibility to make sure you feel comfortable.
You can't grasp everything from that, can you? Like, if that girlfriend's never laid eyes on this girl, never been, then maybe it makes her feel uncomfortable. So as her boyfriend should make her feel comfortable. Me and my husband, we've got friends that are of the opposite sex. One of Simon's best friends is a girl. you know, and they have all those chats on the phone like I have with my best girlfriend. But I'm not insecure about it because I've known her from day one. Because when Simon met me and knew I was the one for him, you have to meet her because she's one of my best friends.
Exactly.
So, you know, she's godmother to our daughter now. But it's like, you know, if that person means so much to you and I mean so much to you, then why haven't we met? That's weird, isn't it? We should be. So therefore, there should be no insecurity there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I need to go.
Yeah.
Taz, is that
back?
You there? Is she on a time delay, Carol?
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah.
And I'm just speaking by experience and something that I experienced in the past. You have got females out there that have intentions that they don't like to see their male friend now hooked up, going somewhere. You know, it's, you know, you've got some that the jealousy, what was on the inside of them is what can possibly come out. So yes, she might have been saying love you, love you, love you, but you know, sorry, you hit a crucial point. Somebody said it earlier, that if you haven't met that person and they're just suddenly throwing out love you, then there's obviously going to be an issue there. But if that other friend has got intentions again, if that other friend hasn't got good intentions, because I've experienced it before where I've been in a relationship and the best friend was a female, I met her, you know, in fact, it was somebody that I knew, but this person's intention was not good. Because when I had literally met with this person and we were going somewhere, this friend, with their bad intentions, would purposely send texts at certain times. They would say certain things on text just to see how I felt. But because I knew my place and I knew what my place at the beginning of the relationship, it didn't bother me. However, like I said, some people's intentions can be so wrong and so ill thought that they have that intention to literally break you up.
Yeah.
Because they're not happy that, okay, we're not hanging around and rolling with each other 24/7. So you might have those odd females that might just send those texts just to see if that relationship is really going to stand the test of time, because they are not happy. You know, there's a saying that says misery loves company. They don't like the fact that you're happy and you're in a relationship and they want to do something to try and sabotage it. So I'm just speaking from experience that there are females that are out there that don't have those good intentions. They don't like to see their male friend happy. And especially if you don't know each other, it makes it even worse, because you think that they have good intentions, but it's not all people that will have good intentions.
Well, that's when you have to make sure that your relationship.
Okay, but not for the girls now.
Oh, I was going to say Oh yeah, Carol.
Right, we're back. Okay, so just going on what Olivia just mentioned just then, but what if the guy, tells his female friend to send those messages or to keep on saying those things because he wants to test this woman to see if she's secure or not?
There's no fuel without fire. If you're going to be,
Hold on.
No.
If you, as a grown ass man, is telling your friend to test me, I'm out, because you're a child. Like, what do you mean?
So for him to be, that's what I'm saying. So going back to what I was just about to say, I said there's no fuel without fire. So if he's texting her to say that it's okay, then there's a problem. That's a boy right there. That's somebody that you shouldn't even be in that relationship with. But again, sometimes people don't get to find those things out until after 6 months, a year down the line, when feelings have been exchanged. And yeah, there's people out there that they're a little bit crazy. So yeah, you definitely have some mental health issues if you're texting your friend. But then people do it in such subtle ways. They might be texting because they like that entertainment. They like to feel that they're that center of attention. There's people out there that do that will sit there and text their female friend, oh yeah, send me another message. And so because I feel good, maybe my partner is not making me feel as great, but I feel fueled and pumped by your messages, and it is definitely a red flag. You have to run, as Winnie just said, run.
Let me just say this real quick though. I think also on that note, when we're talking about the best friend, and the best friend is the opposite sex, and the best friend, and we're in a relationship, I also think that one of the things that need to be established is the fact that if you are a very close friend, or you are a best friend of the person that I'm with, then you should also, because they're your friend, respect the relationship and place boundaries that hey, they're in a relationship now, so you know what, I might not be able to text him at 12 o'clock at night, or I might not be able to call him at this time, at that time, because actually I respect the fact that he is now in a relationship. I respect the fact that he's trying to go and grow, and eventually this person will become a better friend to him than I am in a sort, if they last. So I think that also in that space, that those boundaries need to be put there as well. And like you guys have been saying, it is also the partner's job. Like, you need to let them know who I be. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't be having to guess. You should know Adjua's in the building. Hello. That's what it is.
But that's the thing, Adjua. There are people out there that are literally bad mind, and speaking again from experience. And I remember being in a situation like that, and the female friend had said, she felt such a way because she felt like she was losing her best friend, because it was like almost like where they were sharing, secrets, or being able to confide in each other, and then suddenly that position was shifted. That person then becomes bad mind. It's like, hold on a minute, I'm not that person that he's talking to, and I don't know your secrets anymore, and why does she know it all and I don't? So there are people that are literally sent to disrupt and to sabotage relationships when they could be good relationships. So it's again back to the man and the woman as well. It's what are you going to be clear about what you're telling your friend? Because he could have been telling the friends anything. He could have even told a friend, that's my little side thing, that I'm just seeing where this goes. But to you, he's told you that he's not the girlfriend.
But if he's not making it clear, then that's not the kind of person you want to be with either.
Exactly.
Mic check. You guys hear us?
Right. Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And really, really sorry about how this is going. It's beautiful that you ladies have just maintained this space and made it, a conversation where people are still commenting and being a part of it. But on our end, it's quite embarrassing because we even had a friend of ours, big up Trevor, IT guys, came around, done some different connections right now. But hopefully we're in this now. And obviously the time we look like we're going over. So anyone who needs to be wrapping up, just let us know so we can, respectfully say goodbye. But there's so much questions that we haven't even got through, guys.
Yeah, there is a lot.
So just want to take a little bit of control of being back in this now, because it's been nice watching and we can't even speak. Yeah.
Okay.
So literally, shall I read this question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. And just for a little bit of structure, I'm gonna pose the question to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That way
we get everyone say
we can see. So should a woman know before dating, or should she wait on the right to validate her? Right. So that question, I'm going to read it again. It's very important that we hear, understand, and then we can process. Should a woman know her worth before dating, or should she wait on the right man? It does say the right man to validate her. So before you get this question to you ladies, ponder and think about it. It's easy to be like, of course you should work on ourselves. We all automatically, and I'm thinking to myself.
It's not clear.
However, it's not clear. Oh man. Oh,
Maybe type the question. Type the question as well.
into the chat box.
Oh, it's not clear in terms of what he's saying.
You're not hearing us.
Oh, you're not hearing
properly.
Yeah.
Something about self-worth.
The whole
and
question,
validation.
yeah. The whole
in the private chat. Yeah.
Yeah. And from what I heard, it sounds kind of like what we've covered already, but
Yeah, I think we should go for a completely unrelated question, no?
I think we've kind of covered that.
We've done self-worth and validation.
Okay.
We spoke quite a lot about that already.
Okay.
Don't mean to be
Okay.
fussy.
No, that's good. It's what we've missed, so we don't know.
Yeah,
so
we don't know.
All right, cool.
We covered that when you left us, more or
Sparkle's
less.
done a whole monologue for us.
And Olivia broke it down. So yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Luca,
It was good.
hold on. Can you hear when we're speaking though, or is it
Yeah.
is it jumping?
Is it a delay?
Yeah,
It cuts out sometimes. Sometimes we get the whole lot, and sometimes it breaks up.
Okay, I think what we're going to do, we are going to wrap up the show. But I will say this: you guys are the best animal.
Can't hear you. Can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, Jesus.
It's freezing.
Lord
Can't
of
hear what you're saying.
mercy.
Can you type it in? Are you able to type the question in?
All right, hold on. I'll type it in the group. Okay, so thank you. Oh.
I need it because she's going to type it into the group chat.
Angela?
Yeah?
You have a drink now?
Sorry?
You have a drink now?
Yes, Lydia, I thought, well, I might as well. Yeah. I said, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good and not drink. But seeing all these...
Olivia, you smiling now, sweetie? Are you smiling, Olivia? And you got your drink too? Okay.
There's a balance. We don't skim tea all the time.
We're gonna have to have a part 2 because I don't think we covered that much, really, did we, ladies?
We haven't covered anything. We haven't covered anything. Can I ask a question?
What was the question? Where was it?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Ask a question.
Okay, the question is, do you believe in love at first sight?
No, I don't. I don't. Lust, definitely, but not love. Yeah, I can see somebody and think, oh, blimey, geez, yeah, but not love.
Well, I've never experienced it.
I don't believe in love at first sight. I believe in lust at first sight. I believe also because I believe that love is more than that gushy feeling. I believe love is a choice. I believe love is something that you choose to do and you choose to grow in. So I don't believe in first sight love. That's me.
Okay. So Olivia,
can anybody define what they believe love is? Has anybody got a definition of love?
I think Kaz was saying that we're closing up the show.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. The connection is poor.
She's kicking us off.
Well, we'll have to come back.
Okay. So I think we looks like we're closing out. So just wanted to say to everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for visiting the No Chat Show Live. But tell you what's going to happen, everybody just look out for another link because there's going to have to be a part 2 because a lot of the questions didn't get answered and the full discussion didn't take place. So we just want to say to everybody, thank you so much for joining. Kaz, on behalf of Kaz and on behalf of JC, we all just want to say thank you. Continue to support. We apologize for the technical hitches, but just make sure you just listen out and look out for the live links. And all the beautiful ladies that are part of the panel, may you can just continue to just grow, know your worth, know who you are, and set the intention. communicate.
Intent.
Communicate. And when you know your communication is the intent, know your worth, and then you
know your value.
Know your value. That's exactly it. So I just want to say to everybody,
can I just
night.
say as well, Olivia? Can I just say, Olivia? Men out there, we're not saying it's all your fault because we hold equal balance in terms of fault in relationships. So at the end of the day, it is know yourself, and that goes out to all.
And that's a good point. So this is not. It wasn't a show to bash men. That was never the intention. It was all a discussion about the female perspective of dating, and just growing and knowing who you are, what the other person brings, and then knowing whether or not you have that choice to walk down that journey together, or take a left, take a right, and continue your way. So have a great evening, everybody. Thank you once again for tuning in. And stay blessed.
Okay, good night, everybody. Sorry we couldn't go through, but we'll see. Watch out for part 2. Ciao.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Sorry. Bye.